We have major accomplishments and major exciting developments in the silver and gold markets that we're going to talk about today. Almost too much to cover. Take a blood pressure pill if you have to, guys. This is getting very, very exciting. But first, thank you for being here. Right? We come to Ron's Basement because we love to get together and talk about silver, gold, the precious metals. Welcome to everyone. We have people from the crypto community that are interested in learning about silver and gold. Everyone's welcome here in the basement. I hope you feel like you found a new home away from home. Please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, share it with everybody, your grandchildren, your grandparents. But let's talk about what's happening in the silver and gold market, which is extraordinary right now. We've got about 6 big things to cover and big reasons why we can continue to be optimistic. First, let's take a little trip down history lane. This came from our friend Make Gold Great Again. We just closed out the second quarter, June 30th, Monday of this week, 2 days ago. Silver's quarterly close was the second highest ever, $36. What a finish. Guys, this is nothing because I got bigger news to share with you next. And did we indeed break out of the cup and handle pattern? You'll hear what I'm talking about in just 1 second. Gold closed above 3,300. Now let's move over here to our next slide where things get even more interesting. And I don't know why not as many people are talking about this, but the Happy Hawaiian points out to us that highest 6-month close on silver in history. So just 2 days ago, June 30th of 2025, silver wrapped up its highest 6-month close in history. Now, if we look at this chart, this is where it gets really interesting. It's a little hard for you to see, but I can draw this on there for you. This is a long-term chart of silver with 6-month candles. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can make this a little, actually, this works better. Hold on here. Let's see if we can make this a little more visible for you, for your viewing pleasure. All right, let's try this. This shows us the 6-month candles for silver. Okay, now, this is 1980. Okay. You can see we were at $50 or $37, $36 on the 6-month close. This was 2011, also right around $36. That's the cup. Next, we have the handle. And as you can see, since we just had the highest close for a 6-month period in history, that candle on a 6-month chart shows a breakout in the cup and handle pattern. Am I imagining things? No, right? It's real. Correct me if I'm wrong, but on a 6-month candlestick-based chart, we have broken out in the silver price in that epic cup and handle pattern. We are in for some very, very, very good times ahead when it comes to the silver price and the gold price as well. And the big thing to remember, something critical, again, that nobody else is talking about. And remember, we've been down here in the basement pounding the table since $15 silver, that silver, yes, can go to $60 by April 1st of next year. Okay. And one of the big things, one of the big reasons why we can be even more optimistic right now is that this increase that we've experienced in the silver price, it's not been a spike. It wasn't like a one-time spike up event. What we have experienced here over the last year, over the last 2 years, over the last 6 months is a steady progressive growth in the silver price, right? A solid, some periods of consolidation and whatnot, but not a spike, because when things spike up, what inevitably happens is they come right back down. This time is different. Do you feel it? Do you agree with it, my fellow basement dwellers? Because I feel it, right? It's different this time, right? Couple with that what's going on in the overall economy and everything else, and the outlook for the silver price and the gold price remain to be very, very optimistic. And here's more proof why we can be more optimistic about what's to come. Just look at some data surrounding the US dollar. And when we take a look at this, what we see in no uncertain terms, again, from Gold Telegraph, let me make this a little bigger again. Sorry, guys. We're always having some technical challenges here in the basement. We'll get that back to 100%. There we go. Breaking news. The U.S. dollar suffers the worst start to a year since 1973. Why is that important? Okay. The worst start to the year since the end of the gold-backed Bretton Woods system. Okay. Look at what the dollar has done here over the last 6 months. Down, down, down. And when we look at a chart of the dollar, let's go take a look at the dollar right now today. We can see that the U.S. dollar index is at 97. Remember, it was just a few weeks ago that we were talking about the dollar breaking below 100. And if we look at this year-to-date chart in the U.S. dollar. Wow. I don't need to get the crayons out for you to see this, but do you see what I see? Right, with the U.S. dollar, just a straight down over the last 6 months. But that's not the important part. The important part is this, which tells us that we could be in for some unbelievable returns in the precious metals. If we go over here to 100, wrong one. Hold on here. Let's do a straight line and draw a line across at 100. We're about at 101 there, but you get the point. Guys, you can see, right? If you look right here, okay, we have broken below 100. As you can see down here, this whole period of time, and over here, this whole period of time, it's not unusual for the dollar to even go much lower. Now, what we want to look at, one more thing to look at, which we will look at for the next 10 years, is when we go back to about 2000, 2001, and go all the way out here through 2011, you can see the dollar went down. Oh, big deal, right? No, it is a big deal, because during that time period, during that 10-year time period, the price of silver went from about $4 all the way to $50. And the price of gold went up multiple times as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on the U.S. dollar. It's stagflation. We're getting more and more reports. Did you hear, right? GDP, first quarter GDP, easy for me to say to you, but Q1 GDP has been revised lower again, right? Guys, the economy shrunk during the first quarter of this year. That is a right? A stagnant economy or a recessionary economy. And we know that inflation is up. We just got PCE numbers last week that were higher than expected. We have a shrinking economy with inflation. That is stagflation. One more quick history lesson for you. The last time we had stagflation was the 1970s. You were probably a young person like me at that point. But nonetheless, during that period, the price of silver went from like $1.50 all the way to $50. Remember, those are the two cups on the cup and handle, 2011 and 1980 are the two rims on the cup and handle. And the price of gold went up, I think, 20x or more. That's what we're in right now. Okay, that is reason for us as precious metals investors to be very, very excited about what's to come. Right? We don't like it. We didn't create it, but we've been waiting a long time for this day. And this is not, we're not talking about short-term spikes. Remember, this has been building in silver and gold for that matter as well when we look at the gold chart, but these are long-term supportive factors for the metals for possibly as long as a decade, maybe longer. I have a feeling you're going to be happy if you own some of this. And as a matter of fact, what a great time for me to show you this. Upstairs, Susie's favorite, that's a 5-ounce silver bar from our channel sponsor, First Mint. First Mint makes this gold and silver content possible. They're a mint in Las Vegas, Nevada, making world-class silver bullion products. Now, what makes them unique is that they are owned by First Majestic Silver. You may have heard of Keith Neumeyer, right? One of the most respected names in precious metals. First Majestic Silver owns First Mint. First Majestic Silver mines the silver. This is the freshest silver on the market, guys. right out of the ground, right? Mines it out of the mines, in Mexico, ships it to Nevada, right, to the first mint facilities where it's made into these world-class products. And then it goes directly to you. It never touches the COMEX. It never touches the LBMA. You can check them out at firstmint.com. Let me bring you out quickly to show you their website. There we go. Right, that's my favorite, the buffalo with the Indian. They got the year of the snake. These are all unique bullion products. They've got great service, great selection, and just as important, right, it's a company owned by First Majestic, so it's a company that you can trust. Excuse me, okay? Let's talk about the silver setup, though, one more time, and then we're going to talk about gold. But Gary Savage had some really interesting things. Here we go. To say about what is happening in silver. Gary is a very, very highly respected voice in the precious metal sector. And here we go. He talked about the fact that leading up to Monday, June 30th, the end of the second quarter, the end of the first half of the year, this epic battle and how important it was for silver to get above 35.50. Check, check, check. It did that. But listen to what he says in yellow. He says, this is probably the best setup that we've ever had in the last 15 years to finally break the suppression of the silver market. The first step is to deny the attack today, which it did, and close the month above 35.50. Then silver needs to make a higher high above 37.50. So that's our next goal, guys, to get up above this 37. When we get to $38 silver, Katie, bar the door, okay? Once it does the next resistance, the next resistance zone is at $45. We're going to go from $38 to $45, lickety split. And then we're going to go to $60 by April 1st of next year. Just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything that I'm saying. Don't get engaged. Adopt a puppy. Buy silver. Buy gold. Buy cryptocurrency. Buy anything. Do anything based on anything I'm saying. But I believe it to be true. And it's still a free country, so I can sit down here in my basement and say it. The banks will lose billions on a run to $45, which will intensify the squeeze. Hold on here. Little technical problem. Okay, there we go. Once we get past, when you see 3.8 on the silver price, okay, fasten your silver seatbelts, boys and girls, basement dwellers, because we are going to be going for a fun ride. Remember, it makes me so angry. Right? People say, oh, Ron, you're a silver pumper. They told me that when silver was $15. And I said, it can go to $35, $40. I was a silver pumper. I'm still a silver pumper. I believe in silver. Don't deny the fact that we could see $100 or $200 silver. Look at what happened, okay, between 2001 and 2011. Look at what happened between 1970 and 1980. Okay, 300, 400. Do I hear 500? I've heard some people say $600 silver. The sky is the limit. Let's not sell ourselves short. This is exciting. We are living in historic times, right? And here's a couple reasons why. A couple more reasons. I told you we had a lot to cover today, basement dwellers. All right, let's go out here to the debt clock, right? The U.S. national debt, just so we can stay up to speed. It's hard to keep up with. $37 trillion, $52 billion. That is creating, follow the arrow, interest on national debt of $1 trillion, now more than what we spend on national defense, and we get nothing in return for that, right? Up here, right above it, it's not circled, but the U.S. federal tax revenue is $5 trillion. That means for every $1 that you send to Uncle Sam with your tax return, 20 cents of that dollar goes to pay interest. You get nothing in return. Nonetheless, as that debt level gets bigger, interest gets bigger. That makes the next arrow here, right here, the U.S. federal budget deficit get bigger, right? Which then makes the national debt get bigger. But wait, there's more. Because guess what? The world is waking up and they're not real interested in holding and buying our debt anymore. We know China's selling a lot of our debt. What that does is that makes the interest rate on the debt go up, which further makes the interest on the debt, interest expense on the debt go up. That is why, let's see here. Let's get a different color. What do you say? because this is code red, baby. That's why this cycle that we just talked about between these is a big, see that? Big debt spiral, okay? Now, let's talk about quickly, is the Fed going to cut rates? You guys keep asking me. I got some good news for you. There's like a 95% chance that in September, the Fed is going to cut rates. That, hold on here. Get you on the right screen. There you go. That circle that you see in the upper left-hand corner, this is the CME FedWatch tool. That is for the Fed meeting, not the next one, but the one after that, the mid-September 2025. Okay, the current rate is at 4.25. All right, what these lines show us is that there's a 71% chance, the big blue bar in the middle, a 70% chance that rates are going to get cut by a quarter point, and there's an almost 20, what is that? Is that 25% chance that rates are going to get cut by half a percentage point? Okay, there's only right here, and that's on the right-hand side, a 5% chance that rates are going to remain the same. So buckle up, Buttercup. All right, let's move on here. Let's go out here. Make Gold Great Again shares this one with us about silver. I mean, the silver, we love gold, right? We absolutely love gold. And we're going to come back to this. But first, speaking of gold, I love gold, right? I don't own a lot of physical gold, but I own a lot of precious metal gold mining stocks. And I want to say thank you right now to channel sponsor First Mining Gold. That's a stock I've owned for years. Again, I'm not a financial planner, not giving financial advice, but they also sponsor Ron's Basement, make this gold and silver content available to you. First Mining Gold is a development stage company in Canada. They have two huge, right, multi-million ounce gold projects in Canada, Du Parquet in Quebec and Springpole in Ontario. And they have another project, a third project nobody talks a lot about, that's like almost 1 million ounces of gold reserves also, the Cameron project. So this is gold in the ground in Canada. They're in the permitting, the development stage, okay? The big gold mining producers have not been replacing their reserves, okay? They're going to need to replace their reserves, which could be a very good thing for a company like First Mining Gold, who has a lot of gold in the ground in Canada, and they're advancing, they're developing the projects. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And if you want to talk to a real live person, right, you can reach out to Paul Morris, their Director of Investor Relations, Paul at firstmininggold.com. Let's go back to see what Make Gold Great Again had to tell us. And what he says is silver is dug up at 7-1 versus gold. Yes, yet it's priced 91.1 by man. And if that weren't bad enough, we use 80% of the silver that we dig up. One more quick interesting note on silver. Central banks are buying silver. Central bank silver purchases. What? Really? What? Russia leads the smart money. This comes from Gainesville Coins. And let's just go down here. There are a couple quick points I wanted to talk about. The historic announcement in 2024, the decision to include silver in state reserves represents the first crack in central banking's decade-long silver avoidance. It was part of the draft federal budget in Russia for 2025 to 2027. Russia allocated almost $540 million US for precious metals purchases, explicitly including silver for the first time, alongside gold, platinum, and palladium. Why is it so significant? Russia, the world's 8th largest silver producer at 40 million ounces annually, appears to be leveraging its domestic production as part of a broader strategy to reduce dollar dependence. Boy, that's a common phrase we're hearing often, isn't it? Following Western sanctions, industry analysts suggest this move could drive silver prices up 50% within 24 months, particularly if other nations follow Russia's lead. And finally, let's have some fun. This is a post that I saw, a little movie. We're going to watch movie time. Remember when you were in grade school? Back when I was in grade school, it was a big deal when we got to watch a movie. They pulled out like an old film projector and, we got excited. Here's a little movie for us, only 43 seconds long, but it says everything. This comes from Vince Lanci. He's a great guy. I love Vince. Everybody in the precious metals community loves this guy. He does so much. He does a daily show on Arcadia Economics. I know Jake from Jake's Custom Parts is a big fan of Vince as well. And Vince shared this awesome, and he was on my show once. Probably one of my favorite guests of all time. Anyway, enough about Vince. We love Vince, but he put out this tweet, and this is great. This is what's going on. Think about right now in the United States, but this is ancient Rome.
Nero ordered us to add copper to the silver. It's just temporary. You can barely tell, right?
We're paying soldiers double with half the silver. Genius. I'm keeping the pure ones.
Something's wrong with the new coins. I see copper. Hey, this is supposed to be worth 2 denarii? I'm charging different prices for old coins now.
Merchants won't take the coins. It's just copper.
Bread's 200 denarii. Run!
Just executed another merchant for breaking price laws. Death penalty for overcharging.
Rome fell today. This killed us. Fake money, fake empire.
Nero ordered us to add.
All right, guys. Hey, wow. We love that, right? Does that feel like what's going on right now? 300 people live joining us. Great. And guess what? Somebody just walked into the basement. I talked about Vince being somebody I really like, but somebody I also really like is my old friend, Sean Williamson. Sean, hey, welcome to the basement. Come on down. Now get down. You got to see yourself. Put your face on there.
Put my face on there?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So Sean's here.
Hi.
He wants to say hi. He's been on the channel before. We're going to shoot a video, but he's an author. He has a brand new book, which is entitled All the Wisdom in One Place. Oh, there it is. He's got his book with him. Here, no, we got to bring it up. Here's his new book, All the Wisdom in One Place. You know how sometimes in life you can hear one thing that completely changes the trajectory of your life? I read the first 10 pages of that book last night, and I think I read 3 things. So let me just, since we got everybody live here, let's go out and take a look at where you can check this book out on Amazon. Hold on. Did I share the screen? Yep, there we go. Okay, guys, on Amazon, you can check it out right here. All the Wisdom in One Place. Why is that not pulling up? Oh, here we go. I got to share the tab. Here we go. He's put this together and has all kinds of great insight and ways that you can avoid pain in life. So there you go. All the wisdom in one place. Like I said, we're going to shoot a video talking about the book right now. Most importantly, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of Ron's Basement. Be good to yourself. Have a great day, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.